Okay, today, 2 vocational flatbed trucks. I'm going to go through each of them real quick. I have individual videos on each of these in their naked form before they were bodied up. But I wanted to show you the after on what we did with these trucks and why we did what we did with these trucks. So I'm going to start with this. It's a 2019 Pete 367. It's a 249 wheelbase. It's about a 156 CA ratio. The dry weight on this truck before we bodied it up was right around 16.3. And so I'm going to start doing weights on these trucks because I get asked these questions quite frequently on what the weight is of the truck. So I'm going to start showing a little bit more detail on there. So we built this truck so that it could be a multitude of different applications, whether it be dump truck, construction dump, or what have you. So I'm just going to go around it real fast. We did put a little bit of extra horsepower in this truck because we weren't sure. And so we put the X15 Cummins 500 efficiency, 1650 torque. And we're running a Dana 13.2 front axle with disc front brakes. I did drum on the rear just because in heavy dust applications sometimes guys prefer the drum brakes in the vocational applications. So I did go ahead and put air cleaners, stainless air cleaners on this one. And I put just a little bit of chrome here and there, but I didn't want to make the truck too flashy or go too crazy on expense for this one. So had a lot of underground companies that we've missed opportunities with, so we went ahead and bodied this up with a 20-foot DTI flatbed. And we left him a little bit naked underneath just because we wanted the customer to have the option to pick which toolboxes he'd like to have. And so I forgot to say, this has a 120-gallon fuel tank underneath the cab. So DTI is one of our bodybuilders out of Denver, Colorado. They put these steps on, and the reason I like these steps is because if you do put a toolbox or something on there, then the steps will actually fold over and not interfere with being able to get up on the deck. We are running a 10 3/4 inch frame. And so this truck does sit just a little bit taller, and we put 24/5 rubber on these ones. And so we're running the Bridgestone 799 open shoulder tires with a Airtrac Suspension, 52-inch axle spacing. And you can see here we did add a strobe light, and we put dog ears on the top just so that if you had to put pipe or anything up there with some floodlights so that you can see what you're doing. Along with the rub rail, we did the 3/8 inch thickness on both beds. Again, this one's a 20-foot length with the rub rail. And so for one of our premier customers in Colorado Springs, we're going to be doing some add-ons to this truck, which is going to be pretty awesome. Airtrac suspension, again, that's the heavy-duty Peterbilt suspension. And we did LED lights. And one of the options that we could do on these flatbeds, since we have a little bit taller long seals, with these long seals that DTI put on here, we can actually put shorter long seals, but we left them a little bit taller, which makes the bed higher. But what option that gives you is the capability to put an underbody hoist. So if you decided to change this body to a hoist body, you could do that. You'd probably sacrifice something back here on your pintle hitch, but that's something that we could always do some modifications on. So I went ahead and put air and electric to the back, and 50-ton pintle hitch. One of the other items that we did here is this is a great option for guys who run vocational. You can put the battery jumper post over here underneath, or on the, we call it back of cab. And this is the space saver battery box, so you can tuck the air tanks up underneath there, and it does save space. And as you can see, I put another ladder right there. Everything tucks away real nice. So the customer here is going to put possibly some more ladders on the bed, and then they're going to put some safety rails around the side and 48-inch toolboxes. So there's lots of different options that we can do for you. The nice part about these jumper posts is if you have a machine up on the bed, then you can just use your jumper cables and jump whatever's on the bed. Got the Kissling battery disconnect. We were going to put a 12-liter Cummins or a 13-liter Paccar engine in this truck, but the upgrade cost to go to the 15-liter Cummins with that additional horsepower was minimal in comparison. And so this truck is running a 390 rear gear ratio, 18 speed, 8 and Fuller transmission. And then we pre-wired the beacon lights. I'm sorry, this is a 370 rear gear ratio. But we pre-wired the beacon lights and everything into the dash. So that was all there, ready for the bodybuilder. And the floodlights as well. But additionally, we put full lockers on this truck because we knew it was going to be in a vocational application. And we didn't know if it was going to be in extreme conditions. And then I also put PTO provisions on this truck as well as dump. And one of the cool things that I think I did in the specs is we did lube pumps on the drive axles. That way if you're spinning axles on uneven territory, it has some great benefits there. Help you keep from ruining a rear end on a truck. So that's the 367, guys. I'm going to jump over to the 337 and just walk around that one. It's pretty much the same, except a little bit smaller. So okay, so this is our 2019 337. Similar configuration for guys who like to do underground work, who need to carry semi-heavy loads up on their truck, as well as pull a trailer. So we put some horsepower into this truck. It's a 330 horsepower Paccar, 9-liter. So since it's a 9-liter engine, that means it's sleeved. And you can rebuild a 9-liter engine. 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. And as I've stated in my other videos, this looks familiar because it is a Cummins built engine painted gray. Drum brakes on these guys. This is a 33,000 pound GVW truck. .22.5 tires, 12,000 pound front, 21,000 pound rears, Dana axles, front and back. I'm going to pause real quick because the trash truck is coming out. This one is running a 456 rear gear ratio, and it is an air ride suspension, air ride cab, and that one is an air ride cab as well. I've driven both of these trucks down from Denver, and they all ride just really nice. So again, this one's a 16-foot bed. Ladders, of course. Battery disconnect. This one's a 10 5/8 steel frame. And we put Goodyear rubber. Same configuration. One of the things I forgot to mention on the other truck is you can take this piece right here and you can actually hinge it, and the box, the inside of the frame will be exposed, but DTI can actually build a box, slide it in there, and you can have a working toolbox where they just turn that into a door. They also have the capability to cut your company logo in. Yeah, that was Tim Adams' little touch on this truck here. So this one does have a horizontal exhaust. So you can see the 367 has vertical exhaust. We kept it low as possible because a lot of guys are typically working in the trees. I put a 10-speed Eaton Fuller manual on this truck just to keep the cost down a little bit, but we can configure them with Allison transmissions if need be. Did an air ride driver's seat on this one. The other one has air ride on both driver and passenger. And again, PTO provision. And some spare switches and whatnot for your extra items that you might want to put in there. And then this one here, you can see the gear shift pattern. So this one's an up and over, coming out of 5th to 6th. And CB provisions. There was CB provisions in the header on the other truck as well, but check the narratives, guys. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message, and I'd be happy to answer anything I can. So there you have it, guys. This is JW at Rush Truck Center, Southern Colorado, at the base of beautiful Pikes Peak. You can see it there in the background. If you have any question, I love building vocational trucks. I got a heavy background in that, and that's something that I certainly really enjoy doing. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call direct, 970-518-5520. Anything we can do to help you out. If you like these videos, go ahead and click on the orange button in the right hand corner and subscribe. We'd love to have you. And we'll talk soon. Thanks, guys.